Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book, and author Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Roll it.
Hello, Mr. Dog.
Hola, Miguel.
It's Maria.
You're a woman, Manuel. She'll listen to you.
It's Maria.
She needs our help. You're doing the Lord's work. Without this charity, I am broke. No money, no spacesuit. We need her.
Okay, I try. Hola. My friend is a good man. He will help you. Yes. Ay, Dios mío.
Okay, ask her again. Ask her nicely. Ask her nicely. One more time. All right, come on. Walk it off. Walk it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen a short clip called Weeds from 2012. It was a TV series. It's a clip from our guest today. Now, she's a stage, film, and TV actress, best known for her role as the Mexican and insane lunatic in the FX award-winning hit drama series American Horror Story Asylum. She was born in Puerto Rico of a Dominican mother and a Puerto Rican father. She was raised in New York City and Puerto Rico. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gloria Laino.
Laino.
I love the way you say it. Correct me if you must, please.
Laino.
Please, thank you, thank you. Welcome, Gloria. Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I've read your resume. I was most impressed. You are a veteran. You have 44 actor credits right now. That's great.
Yes.
I see that you've paid your dues. Tell us, what made you get into acting?
When I was a little kid, I was about 8 years old, I went into my bedroom and I started looking at myself in the mirror and creating all these little characters.
Okay.
And I would also pretend that I was a theater director. And I would bring the girls and the boys from the neighborhood and sit them down. And I was very stern. I made sure that they were listening, and then I would assign them roles. I also would imitate, like, singers, and then it's what made me realize, hey, this is what I really want to do. I love doing this stuff. And from that time on, it's my passion. I've done many other things.
Okay.
I've been an interpreter, an occupational therapist.
Okay.
You name it. A makeup artist.
Wow.
But I always come back to the acting.
It's where your heart is at.
It's my heart.
Yes.
It's my passion. It's where my passion is.
What do they say? The smell of the grease paint, the roar of the crowd.
It's creating.
Okay.
Yes, it's taking the words from a script.
Yes.
And creating a character and relating the story to the people, so they can be entertained.
Wow.
Yes.
I have a bone to pick sometime with a lot of actors who don't want to get up on that stage. They would rather do take 2, take 3. Take 1 is where it's at.
Yes, absolutely. I love the theater.
Indeed.
Yes, yes. That's how I started, actually.
Got you.
Yes.
Got you. Now, is being a working actor for the things that you've heard, all the things you've heard about the business, is it really that way?
Things are what you make of them. I mean, you just kind of, it's challenging, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. You just can't become a part of all this noise.
Okay. You don't want to be a Hollywood bad girl?
I don't. Not really. I'm past that stage, and I've had incidents in my career and where it's been tough. But the approach from certain people has been not very welcoming. Okay. But I guess I don't buy into it.
Okay.
I'm not here to get involved in all that stuff.
It's a nice word because it covers everything.
It covers everything.
Okay. Your acting began your career began on the stage, as you said, and leap forward. Now, there's a story that we like to tell that you were seen by a casting director who gave you a line in a play, and he liked you. Can you tell us the rest of that story?
Actually, this is what happened. I did a play with these very well-known actresses, soap opera actresses, Spanish actresses. And I just had like a couple of lines. I just said the character's name, and I also said, "Oh, there she is." That was it. And I remember calling my sister and saying, "I really don't want to do this. I can do better. I can do more." You know, that young mentality. And she said, "Well, you have to do it. There are no small roles, only small actors, Stanislavski." And I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And I did it. And there was a casting director sitting in the audience. He came backstage to greet all these big stars, but asked to meet me. And a week later, I was working on my first soap opera.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
The year is 1997. You got your first IMDb actor credit for a movie called The Pest.
Yes.
With a role as carnival dancer Gloria Kennedy. And you had the star, who was the star of that picture, do you remember?
John Leguizamo.
Ah, John Leguizamo.
Oh my God, he's so awesome.
Was he just as crazy then as he is now?
He's colorful.
Love that guy. Love that guy.
Yes. But also I did at that same time, I did the a soap opera called Agua Marina, which was the one that the casting director gave me, and that was also in 1997.
Okay.
Yes.
Because in that year you did what, 2 or 3 movies that year? Breaking In.
I did. Yes. Yes. It's almost like my career just took off.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That happens.
As you look back and you look at all the things that have happened to you over the years in this business, what do you remember the most?
I remember just being a struggling actor with twin boys.
You have twin boys?
Yes.
Oh,
they're 28 now.
28.
Yes.
I'm a twin.
And I have another. You're a twin?
I'm a twin.
Oh,
I'm UG.
wonderful.
My brother's LY.
Oh, really?
We're so ugly. He got the UG. I got the LY.
That's funny. Yes. And I have 2 other kids, a boy and a girl. But it was the struggle that I had, and I remember being motivated by my twins to go ahead and pursue the career. I was a single parent.
Yes.
And it was very tough to go to the theater, and at times they would just, go with me so that I could be encouraged and not have that pressure. To me, that's one of the most beautiful things I remember from my career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know they were proud of their mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And then there were the auditions for all this work you were doing. We call it the Big A. What's your feelings about that?
The Big A. My feeling is that it's just a tool and that you have to do it. Because if you don't audition, you don't work. So you have to start loving it.
Yes.
Or if not, you're in the wrong business.
Right.
But I study. I never allow myself not to go get either coached or study. I'm in class almost always. And where you can learn technique, because a lot of actors, and I can include myself in that, I was not very happy with the fact that I had to go and audition because, we have all this stuff like, oh, well, they're not going to, how can they see what I'm going to do in like a minute? Sometimes I give you like 3 minutes to do your thing. And you have to really let go of all of that and just immerse yourself into the role and learn the technique.
Yes.
Because, of course, you can't be moving all over the place, but learning the technique and loving it.
Yes.
Because if you don't love it, forget it. And start performing. Every audition should be a performance, not a job that I'm going to go get.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of wannabes, could-bes, used-to-bes out here. It's a lot of competition out here.
Yeah.
But you got something a lot of them don't have, and I enjoy being with you, madam. You have a great attitude.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've had a wide variety of roles, I see, by looking at your IMDb paper. What were some of your favorite roles?
I have to say American Horror Story was one of my favorite ones, where I play the Mexican, an insane asylum person. And that was it's a very tough, because, you know, it can be dark, and you sort of have to be and watch yourself not to get immersed totally.
Yes.
You know, there's a fine line where you don't cross it, and you become that character, but yet you can't let go of you. That was challenging, but being around the set with Jessica Lange, Lily Rabe, you know, James Cromwell, veterans. Those are veterans.
Yes,
yes,
you're a veteran
I
now.
am a
You're
veteran.
A veteran now.
And just learning from them.
Yes.
Yeah, I can say that's one of my most memorable roles.
Like I said, you got a great attitude.
Thank
That's an
you.
attitude that you come in here to learn and to do your job.
Yes,
You don't have
yes.
this ego pushing you.
Right.
Do you know who I am? That kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that.
Yes, yes.
Gloria, if you take a moment and talk about the rich cultural heritage and the language abilities which led you to success in both Spanish TV and American TV, as well as film and theater.
Well, I speak 3 languages fluently. Spanish, my native language, English, and Arabic, which I learned when I was a younger adult and I lived in the Middle East. And with those, it's almost like I feel like we don't say Rolodex anymore because it's computers, you know, but inside my brain, I have this little Rolodex of experiences, and it's because of all the things I've lived through.
Yes.
Being a young girl, I went from New York to Puerto Rico to live with my grandparents. They were older people.
Yes.
Then from there, I married a Middle Eastern and went to live in the Middle East, where I immersed myself in the culture, and I didn't want not to know what was being said, especially about me. So I learned the language so that I could, and I'm a very personable person.
So I noticed.
I like to talk to people. I like to
Yes.
get to know them. And that makes you a great actor,
Yes.
I could say. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's part of it.
What's your take on the current image and status of Latinos in the entertainment industry?
You know, personally, I find that we just have to continue to do the work, do the best work we can, and we'll be recognized as the industry opens up for us,
Right.
because we're ready and we're talented. There's a lot of talent
Yes.
in the Latino culture,
Yes.
that it's going to be recognized. Everything is in due time. Things just kind of flow into place, and I think we're on our way. Yeah,
Amen to that one.
yeah.
Indeed. You're currently working on a short film called Water Dog. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's a Christopher Baiza, very talented director, and he approached me to play this like very interesting character. The scene, I'm going to spoil it for him. The scene is I'm in a funeral home, and the mistress of my husband comes in. It's kind of like a dark comedy, if you may say, Christopher. And when he approached me, I saw some of the work that he had done, and I was so in love with his stuff that I said, you know what, let's do it. Let's get on this one. He has actually a show called Myra, a movie short that's showing tomorrow in Idlewild, which I'm going to go support because I like supporting the young filmmakers.
Good.
Same way that that casting director pushed me.
You, yes.
I like to give back.
Give it back, definitely. Now, you're also an accomplished screenwriter. What do you like to write about?
Well, I have a couple, but there's one that it's finished, and we're talking to people in the Dominican Republic. It's the adaptation of a book. It's a Cuban story called En el Barrio de los Mangos. It means in the mangoes borough or a little town. And it's an author, Cuban author, friend of mine, who has another book that just came out, fantastic book. And I approached him and I said, look, let's make this a screenplay. And it's very, I would say, very Fellini type of, black and white, very artistic, but it's a story about Cuba. And it's transition and how it was before and what it is now.
Yes, indeed. I'm told you have several screenplays in various stages of development.
This one is the one I was mentioning, the Barrio de los Mangos, and that one is being looked at by some producers in the Dominican Republic. So we're trying to attach some names to it and see where it goes, but it looks good. Yeah.
Now, as a writer, I do writing myself. I got to ask you this. Writer's block. How do you solve writer's block?
Just put it down for a while.
Okay.
You know, you can't, because we can't force things. I just believe in the natural flow of things. And when you're stuck, it means you're stuck. And just, you know, put it down for a while, go do something else. Come back later. It may come to you while you're sleeping, which has happened to me.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like trying to get a tissue box and I'm writing the lines. Have you done that?
Oh, yes, yes.
Like, yeah. I mean, this screenplay that I wrote, I had like little pieces of napkins everywhere in my car. Yeah.
I know what I do when I get that block. I sit there, I reach for my wallet, immediately look at my wallet, keep right on going, keep right on going. I need that money.
Yes, just let things flow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, you're scheduled to be part of the cast of the new FX series, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. Yes, I love that show. It's a vampire comedy for FX. It was a movie, 2014, a movie that came out, and it has a great following, so FX made it into a pilot.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to be cast as as a vampire assistant to Doug Jones, the guy from The Shape of Water, the fish man and the creature. Yes. And I'm just very happy. I'm on set with some incredible people, and one of them I'm going to just talk about him. His name is Harvey Guillen.
Okay.
I love this guy, and he's amazing. So we are having fun. It's a fun project.
People pay their money.
And it comes out on March of 27. March 27, yes.
Okay.
FX.
And you know exactly, okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your surprise cameo, we're running out of time, but I want to get this one in before we get you out of here.
Yes.
Your surprise cameo in American Horror Story, Apocalypse,
yes,
has created much buzz as to what this crossover could mean for the series. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy tends to bring back the characters from the other episodes, and he brought me in. I was a Mexican in asylum, and now I'm a Satanist worshiper. And in Apocalypse, and the fans are going crazy with that because they're two opposite characters.
Right.
One, I fear the devil, and here I'm like, you know, worshiping the devil. So, and they love it, and I get like letters and notes from people from all over the world just asking, why is she back? You know, yeah, it's a buzz. It's interesting. I love it. It's a great show.
It is. Your name and that story has become synonymous. What was it like when you got caught up in this whole thing, asylum and all that good stuff?
Well, my name, you mean?
Yes.
Well,
when they say the Mexican. Yes. Yes.
You know, it's a great honor to be part of the cast of such an amazing show. American Horror Story is known all over the world. I mean, people. I remember one time I was in a bus in France, and there was this young boy from Peru, and he was sitting next to me, and he's like, and he didn't want to ask because he was kind of shy, but then he had to, and he's like, "Are you the Mexican?" Yeah, it's wonderful.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, Gloria, I hate to tell you this, but we cannot let you get out of here without showing a clip of that film. Tony, roll it.
garçon plein d'ardeur. Et pour semer la parole, inventa les frères prêcheurs. Dominique, nique, s'en allait.
Sister Jude has asked me to make an announcement. There's a big storm heading our way, and when it hits, half of you are going to be too afraid to move, and the other half won't be able to stop moving. It would be chaos, and that won't do. So, Sister Jude has arranged for a distraction. A movie on Friday night when the storm will be at its worst. We're all going to be together in the dark, watching The Sign of the Cross. A movie full of fire, sex, and the death of Christians. What fun.
Aléjate, Satanás, aléjate.
Ooh, that was nice. That was nice. Satan, wow. Ooh. How many times have you seen the movie?
This episode?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, a few. I try not to see my work too much, quite frankly.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because I do it and it's done.
Gotcha.
I create it and, you know.
Like I say, you got an attitude, lady. A good one. A good one. Final question. Gloria, how do you want to be remembered?
Want to be remembered as a kind and loving, caring person that cares about other people. And it's not just about me. That I include everyone that I come across into my little world.
Excellent. Excellent. May I have your right hand, please? Thank you. This is my trademark. I always give people a silver dollar for good luck.
Oh,
Continued
thank you so
success
much.
in what you are doing.
Thank you, Ron.
And while we're at it, why not? We might as
Oh,
well
this
hang
is
out with us.
wonderful.
See, your
Thank
publicist,
you.
Carmen L. Cortos Lopez from
Camille.
Espada PR.
I love
she
Espada
told me
PR.
that you were my outstanding lady.
Oh,
It's
thank
always a
you.
pleasure to see someone.
Thank you.
On this show, we like to give flowers to the ladies.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's just something that we like to do because we enjoy spending a few moments with you. It's been fun. You got to come back again.
Pleasure. Thank you so much
And
for
the
having
mother
me.
of twins.
Yes.
Oh,
I know.
oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say before you leave?
Well, I just want to say thank you to our wonderful engineer.
Oh, that's Tony, yes.
Yes, Tony, hello.
engineer and owner,
thank
yes.
you. And
Uh-huh.
Camille, Espada PR, they're
Camille,
wonderful.
yes, she's always there. Always,
Yes, yes. And
But again,
thanks for having me.
thank you very, very much. You take care.
Yes.
Okay. We'll take a short break. The studio of Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please, give him a call today, 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. 5150 the book. It's a release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. Now, as a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chu Lai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience, where nearly 3 million Americans went to war, was, as he puts it, 5150. The book is currently available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. And Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and the Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a book by author Larry Buford. Now, it's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. Now, the book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. So please get your copy today. And now, a word from our State Farm agent, Carla Green.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Our next guest is a very respected and well-known entertainment industry leader for over 20 years of experience creating content and initiatives on America's ever-emerging multicultural audience and marketplace. Among his numerous feats, he's executive produced the NAACP Image Award for over 10 years, and he executive produced the 2016 Democratic National Convention and the committee. So he's been around a long time and well known. Now he's directing a play called Paradise, and as such, he's returning to his first love, being in and around the theater. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vicangelo Bulluck.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Vicangelo, we've seen you for a long time. You and I have known each other a long time.
Yep, been in the trenches.
Oh yeah, we've been in the trenches. If I say one name, a lot of people, you and I would know him. Willis Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, brother.
Nah, Willis, it'd be good to have Willis around right about now, to be quite honest.
Yes,
because he would not take much mess. He'd be out there fighting the good fight.
Fighting a good fight, yeah, we miss him. Now, you and I did spend a lot of time, sometimes with the Image Award. I think I was on one of the boards or something like that I got involved in. But now here you are, returning to your first love, the theater. How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels great. I mean, I don't know, a little bit of my journey in that I started out as a creative person, went to USC, actually did a lot of theater, wrote plays, directed plays, and was paid to write my first screenplay because I was doing plays at USC, and all still while I was in college. And then came out, was a creative person, and then got started working with the NAACP, primarily because I was working on the Image Awards, and then they asked me, and something I'm very proud of, is they asked me to open up the Hollywood Bureau of the NAACP. So, again, working with Julian Bond and Kwesi Mfume and Ben Jealous and many other leaders that understood the power of media. The NAACP going back to their protests against Birth of a Nation. So they've been on it forever. So I'm a small footnote in civil rights history, and then I opened up the Hollywood Bureau for them and help with the messaging, and then decided I did a small stint at the Motion Picture Academy. Working with Cheryl Boone Isaacs and Hawk Koch and Don Hudson, and helping formulate some initiatives in regards to diversity, which some were implemented when I was there, and some they evolved and have done. Trying to push it all in the right direction. But I wanted to get back to being creative again, because life is short.
And look what you picked for your return.
Absolutely.
Paradise.
Yeah, and it came about, I was looking for something to direct as an indie feature. And so I read a bunch of material, a bunch of screenplays, a bunch of plays, and I read this play, and I immediately fell in love with it. I fell in love with it for 3 reasons. One, it was about a young woman in STEM who wanted to study science, and I knew how important that was, again, from my political work. 2, it was a fully realized young Muslim woman. And in our current political climate, I thought that's an interesting and very important character to bring to life, to show the humanity, to show the empathy. And then 3, little did I know till a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the theme of a man mentoring a woman was really going to be maybe the most important theme in the play.
Gotcha. Now, can you give us some facts about this play? Is it at what theater is it at? Where is it at? What's the showtime with something that
we just had a successful run at the Odyssey Theater. Where we were really fortunate because of the support of the community. So community support. But we sold out all our previews. We sold out every show. We got some pretty decent reviews.
Oh, yes.
So we're extending the show, and we're going to be at the Matrix.
The Matrix
Theater on Melrose.
Okay.
So we open this weekend.
Okay.
So there, I believe
That's this coming weekend.
This coming weekend, March 8th. So we have some. I believe there's some tickets. So please, I'm hoping that everybody will show up, because it's a very powerful, thought-provoking, but fun. It's a fun evening at theater, and so I don't want all the themes and all that stuff to make people think that they're not going to come and have fun. And 2 Trains, for those who saw 2 Trains running at the Matrix, which I thought was a phenomenal.
I was one of them.
Yeah,
excellent,
beautiful production.
Yes,
know the intimacy of the theater.
Yes,
and it's I just think it's a beautiful spot, and so. Again, everybody who saw 2 Trains running, including yourself, please come out and see Paradise.
Sure. The theater, like you said, it has no poles.
Yep.
You sit in the theater. I mean, the stage is like right there in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just reach out and pick an actor.
Yeah.
Just a marvelous feeling, just so. Okay. Tell us about the cast themselves, please.
Paradise. The young actress that we had at the Odyssey, Medallion Rahimi, got a pilot. So we had to change actresses.
Okay.
And we're really excited to be working with a young actress named Maral Milani.
Okay.
I think she's a real find.
Okay.
I think she's going to be an important actress. She brings a nice edge, an authenticity to the play and the material. And she's a very smart actress.
Okay.
And then Jeff Marlowe.
Jeff Marlowe, yes.
Who was with us at the Odyssey, who I think is really brilliant. He's done Shakespeare with Tom Hanks, and he's just an actor who's at the top of his craft. Mm-hmm. And so to see these 2 actors work together, I think is one of the exciting, because it's a 2-person play.
Right.
And I've been told, little did I know prior to jumping in, that doing it, I've been told by lots of really, theater people, that doing a 2-hander is one of the most hardest. Yes. Because if you do a 1-man or a 1-person play, the audience shows up and they assume that whatever they're getting is 100%.
Right.
So the actor can be even off a little bit, but they're getting 100% of that actor.
Right.
And then if you have multiple actors, the energy gets spread around. Right? Mm-hmm. You got 2 people.
Right.
They're on the whole time. It's like pick your sporting event. It's it's Wimbledon. So and these 2 actors, it's just fun to watch them play off each other.
Yes.
So and find those moments.
I understand she's playing a Yemeni American.
A young Yemeni. Basically the story is we meet a young Yemeni woman, high school senior, and she's coming in to protest or petition, I should say, that she wants to do a makeup quiz because she got an F. And then we learn about her that she may be a genius, and she's gotten all straight A's, and that she's dealing with some cultural things within herself, and her love for science and wanting to study science in college. Right. And then we learn about the professor, that he was also a wonderkin. And through circumstances that I don't want to give away, finds himself teaching at high school science. Right. But he recognizes the genius in her, not immediately, after some conflict, but he's brilliant and observational in how he comes to know her. Right. And the same with her. Their exchange. It's a beautifully written play. Yes. It waxes poetically on religion and faith and science and love.
Wow.
It really is our hashtag is a study in love.
She's from the Bronx, I'm told.
Yes, yeah, it's a run. It all takes place inside a classroom, science classroom in the Bronx, rundown science classroom in the Bronx.
Yes, I was thinking.
So it's one play, two people,
2 people. Wow.
And lots of fun and fireworks.
Okay. You got some famous people who are your producers. Tell us about them, please.
I'm very, very fortunate to be working with Viola Davis and Julius Tenen, are producing the material. They've produced some other plays,
right.
And I took the play to Julius, and he read it and immediately fell in love with the material also.
Okay.
And we were talking, because again, we were talking about developing it as a film.
Okay.
And then Julius, because of the experience that they had on Fences, you know, doing it as a play and then taking that cast and doing the film, Julius said, well, why don't we do that? Why don't we do kind of proof of concept? Let's put the play up. And Vic, I think you should direct it. And
Wow.
it took me, well, it didn't take me long, but it took me a minute to think, because, you know, you want to make sure that,
Oh, yes.
you know, it's a big responsibility, because I do think it's important material, and it's an important story. But then I got excited by the challenge of it, and you know, we decided to open it just this year. I mean, earlier this year in January, and we're looking at New York.
Ooh.
We're looking at trying to do some other regional theaters.
Right.
So again, we want people to come see this production.
Yes. Yes.
And from there, help us grow and, you know, take this whole story in this project, you know, nationally and hopefully globally eventually. Because I really do think at this moment in time, to tell the story of a young Muslim woman who wants to study science. As you can imagine, it hits on all sorts of, we know that science is being under attack politically, and that's very unique.
Okay.
I don't think it's it's a story that's not told very often, and characters that we don't get to see that often.
Okay. Can you take us back to when you guys first came together as a cast? I mean, you got a writer. Who's the writer, by the way?
Oh, yeah, please, should not be a woman named Laura Marie Sensabella.
Okay.
And she's the real deal. I mean, actually, Yale School of Drama. So she didn't write the play by accident, because I guess I'm giving her bona fide so that people know that. So, you know, so it's not like, oh, she wrote this one great play. I mean, she knows how to write, and it's very evident in the material. She studied it for,
2 years?
Yeah, over 2 years.
Wow.
Just really getting immersed in the Yemeni culture and the science and the scientific culture. We've worked very closely with advisors from the Arab and the Muslim community, with science advisors. Some people are tickled if you show up. Again, it's a classroom, and some of the stuff on the chalkboard. If you were that nerd in science class, people pointing out, recognizing the formulas, because we wanted to make sure, okay, in November, your senior year in this high school classroom, what would they be studying? Right. So we've really spent some time looking at the authenticity. And, you know, the work I did at the NAACP, I know whenever you're dealing with issues of race and culture, you're never going to get it 100%.
Right, that's true. Not going to satisfy everybody.
You're not going to satisfy everybody. So all you can do is approach the material with respect, and the stories with respect, and look for the authenticity, and do the best you can.
Right. I like the name Paradise.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Well, Paradise, the name comes because there's a passage in the Quran, which is actually recited in the play, which speaks directly to paradise.
Yes.
And then obviously that's a metaphor for larger, issues, like wouldn't we all get to like to live our best lives while we're here on Earth.
Got you. Now I see, besides all the other things you mentioned as background for all the scientists you brought in, it was commissioned by Ensemble Studio Theater and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. That says a lot.
Very, very, very prestigious. Actually, it was initiated, I believe Laura got a grant to write specifically to write a story about women in science. Right. And then this is the story that she evolved out of that grant.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you've already received some honors already. I understand you got the 2018 Soroyan Paul Playwriting Prize for Human Rights.
Those are all honors, not our specific production, but honors that have been and accolades that have been bestowed upon the play and the material. Okay. So, and I really can't, I can't say enough about the material, because when you do these. Okay. Any of these projects, it all starts with the script.
Right, starts with that script. Yeah.
And then sometimes the writer, I don't think gets the attention that they deserve. Unless you become one of the greats like August Wilson, Shakespeare. Well, I guess there are a few playwrights that have gotten. But then the director, the actors, the producers. The production value, the designers, and all that all come, and that's I think what we really love about theater and film is the collaboration, right? I
can hear the emotion and love that you have for this. Like you say, getting back into the theater again. Take us back in time to when you first got together as a group, and you had that first read.
Actually, it's kind of very, I'll give you a very specific, when we did one of the first, well, every table read was always brilliant and phenomenal. I mean, because it's a real emotional journey in this play. I mean, and again, I'm somebody who doesn't like to overhype. Because then people go, oh, it ain't all that. But this is something where, legitimately, you laugh, you cry, you think. And I'm just like, that's a 2 hours well spent. And I remember we did a stage reading actually for the designers, when the actors walked it through. So there are about 8 of us, maybe slightly more, slightly over 10 people sitting, watching it. And the actors, went all the way through the play. And then I was sitting in front of Julius, and I turned and I looked, and he had tears glistening in his eyes. And he just touched his heart and he went, wow. And yeah, and that was a cherished moment for me, because when you're working with people like Viola Davis and Julius Tennant, I want to represent properly, right?
When their names is on it, right?
I know and I'm just really honored that they would trust and allow this production and my name to be associated with theirs, because I hold them in such high regard, and because they do have artistic standards.
Yes, they do. And they have this organization called JV Productions?
Juvie.
I'm sorry?
Juvie Productions. Yeah, it's their production company. Yeah. I can't speak, on it and their business, but I know they are doing some, not just Paradise, they're developing lots of other really important works. And I think they're going to be a major production company, especially in the this multicultural space. Okay. Doing television, film, and theater.
Okay. What's the recommended age group that you'd like to come and see this play? Because you're talking about science. And
yeah. Well, we're right down the street from Fairfax High.
Okay.
And I would love well, let me. We had mothers, especially, would come see the play, and then I would see them return a week later or 2 weeks later with their 15, 16-year-old daughters. I've seen kids in the theater as young as probably 12, 13. So, there's nothing, it's heady stuff.
Okay. But our kids today are heady.
and they're smart. But I mean, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing that's not family friendly.
Gotcha.
You know, I mean, we are dealing with race and culture, so there are some things, you know, that are said that are provocative, but I think probably make for a good conversation.
Yes.
Going home, I always feel like with material, the most important thing is what's the conversation after you've seen it.
Okay.
Right? If you watch a movie or a TV show and you know, that's it. You know, I find that not as fulfilling as when you watch a movie or see a piece of theater and you walk out and you can't stop talking about it and you're engaged. Lots of people have told me that the conversations they were having with themselves in their own heads while they were watching the play, they were just couldn't believe, you know, because again, it deeply reflects on love. What is love? And then again, you know, science and faith, and how do we hold on to ourselves and our beliefs and our culture.
Very, very important factors in life today.
Absolutely.
Right? You look at the headlines of newspapers, there's always something going on here, going on there. And a lot of, I'm a college professor myself, and I know what it's like being a teacher and relating to, having the students relate to what's going on in the world today.
Yeah. Well, and to go back to specifically answer your question, yeah, I think this play is for, I would probably say that is like, you know, 15 through forever. Gotcha. Now, you know, have been some older people that have come.
Good.
And you know, which is really good too. Which is really important. I ask everybody, you know, please wash your hands and try not to sneeze and cough as we're coming out of flu season. But it's I really want, you know, young women to see the play, because it's interesting. This conversation I've had with the actors. You have the white male professor, teacher, and you have the young Yemeni woman.
Okay.
And depending on who you are, because you know people respond to material, right? Some people are going to come into the story through his point of view, and some are going to come in through her point of view. So we were really lucky in that our audiences at the Odyssey were multi-generational, multicultural. We had hijab-wearing women from from the Muslim community. We had Muslim men. We had African Americans from the churches.
All right.
And
good mixture.
Yeah, my uncle's a pastor, and he says I wanted to bring some of the congregation down, and I had to say, okay, there's a lot of there's a lot of Islam talk in here, so don't. But I think it was very rich, because we actually did a Q&A that day, and you know, it's about how do we take the good out of. Right. You know, Alex Haley said, "Find the good and praise it."
Yes, he did.
You know, and that's and I think that's when we talk about any religion, that's what we should do. We should find the good in it and praise it.
Okay. What do you see for your future in this business? Again, as now you're a director now, you want to stay with it.
For me in a perfect world, well, one, I just think it's an exciting time. Yes. I mean, I wish I was in my 20s as a man, person of color coming into the industry right now. But there were, some hard battles were fought, and I think one, it's exciting to see the work that Ava DuVernay and Charles King and obviously Oprah and Lee Daniels. I mean, it's a real Renaissance moment, and the breadth of the stories. That are happening, and then in the Latino community, and obviously with Crazy Rich Asians, I think people are starting to see. I had a professor at USC who said, people go to the movies in the theater because they want to see something they've never seen before.
Exactly.
And I think you get that with Paradise, and I think as we tell more stories about people of color and women, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see things that we've never seen before, and it doesn't always have to be a special effect. Okay. So I'm hoping that I get to direct some movies.
Yes.
And hope, and maybe even do a play a year.
Yes.
In a perfect world. So do a play a year and a movie a year.
Oh, that'd be right on time. Good time schedule.
Go out, because there's some very specific stories that that I think are important and that I want to tell.
Gotcha.
So.
We got just a minute or so left. Can you please give us the features, the background, where to get tickets from, the show times, different things
Absolutely.
like
Well, we open this weekend.
Okay.
Really encouraging that first week, just like in the movies, that first weekend is all important.
Yes.
So if, anybody who has found or finds this of interest, or anybody that just wants to have a fun night in the theater, and wants to support these kind of stories, we'd really love you to come out, especially this first weekend. Okay. So we open March 8th. Tickets are $35. We're at the Matrix Theater at 7657 Melrose Avenue. And again, just like a block east of Fairfax High. So all you kids and all the parents at Fairfax High, come on down. And you can get tickets at plays411.com/paradise or 323-960-7724. Okay. And again, I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
Okay. Now, what are the actual show dates? It's on the other side.
Oh, it's going to be, the show dates are currently, we open this weekend, March 8th, and we'll run through the end of the month.
Okay.
And we are Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday matinee.
Okay.
Depending on demand, we can expand out of that. We can expand, a few more dates or during the week. And then also the possibility of continuing the run at the Matrix, which really is a great, if you haven't been to the Matrix, you should go see this play at the Matrix just to experience that space. Yes. It really is intimate, and like you said, you can reach out and touch. Yeah. And we've designed this play so hopefully you feel like you are inside the classroom, sharing this experience and these conversations with these two really wonderful characters.
Outstanding. Want to give some thanks to your publicist, Lucy Pollock.
Absolutely.
At Lucy PR. She's done a fantastic job. May I have your right hand, please, sir? I want to give you my trademark for good luck. Oh. Hold on to that for good luck, and thank you. I've known you these years. Let's get more years out there, get more titles, and have your name out there. Definitely, Vic. We've done an outstanding job. Thank you. Thank you. Special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green. Much thanks to our guest today, actress, director, and writer Gloria Laino, and producer, writer, and director Vicangelo Bulluck. And to our ever-growing audience, we thank you, and we say we'll see you the next time. Thanks, man.
Very cool.
Thank you.